If you're a photographer who likes doing panoramic images, then you'll know that it's important to get the base of the tripod level before you start shooting, and before you even level up the head, the ball head or the three-way head, whatever you're using. Unfortunately, a lot of tripod manufacturers seem to think it's not worth putting a bubble level on the base, so that all you'd have to do is adjust the legs until the bubble was centered. That would take care of the problem. But as I say, a lot of manufacturers don't seem to think that's worthwhile. This particular one does, and I'll cover that in another video. But the other alternative that you can use is to put a leveler between the base of your tripod and the whatever head type you're using. I have two types here. This one is a Neewer and available on Amazon. Links below, and also there's a card up here for a previous video that I did on this. And this one is an iFootage, let's just get the right number here, QL-I. And we're going to talk about the difference between these two and which ones you should probably use for your situation. We now have the two levelers side by side, and as you can see, the height is approximately the same on both, but diameter is different. The Neewer, from the bubble level out to the right wheel, is just a little bit less than 10 centimeters, whereas the iFootage is just a little under 8 centimeters. The Neewer has three bubble levels, a linear one on one side, a circular one on top, and then another linear one on the other side. Each of the wheels on the Neewer can now be adjusted so that each of the three bubble levels are centered. And notice that each wheel has a locking nut that you can use to secure the setting once you've centered everything. The iFootage is adjusted by first releasing the buckle and then moving the platform by hand until the bubble level is centered, and then locking the buckle down when that centering is achieved. If you find the buckle on the iFootage has come a bit loose, you can use a 9/32 inch driver to tighten it slightly. And now for the weigh-in. The Neewer comes in at about 250 grams, and so does the iFootage. And with the leveler mounted on the tripod, the legs can still be folded up and the ball head does not protrude beyond the legs. Just to reiterate, the reason you need a leveler is, or some way of leveling the base of the tripod, is that you could start off in a position where you've now leveled the head using the bubble level that may be in the head itself, and then you start panning around, and you suddenly see that there's this tilt in the image, and that is because you haven't got the base leveled first. And the problem with that is when you do your post-production on the panoramic, start stitching everything together, you'll find that you're going to have to crop quite a bit more of the image out because it's tilted and doesn't look right. So in terms of which of these two levelers to use or to purchase, this one's about half the price of the iFootage. And the reason I went with this, I purchased this first, and I use this more in a kind of a studio setting, this for the field because of, a slightly different diameter. It makes it easier to fold up the tripod and put it back in the bag. And one thing I will say though is the iFootage is a little bit trickier. There's that kind of lag when you're starting to adjust it. You adjust it and then you wait for the bubble to move and center. This bubble level has the same problem on the Neewer, but at least you've got some fine level of control. Here you've only got basically one level of control, and that is you undo this buckle and move this thing around. So there might be a bit more iteration in the field before you get this thing correct. So other than that, size-wise, as I say, the diameter is slightly different. The weight's the same, so that's not a consideration. It's up to you. I personally would use this for travel and this for studio, but it's your choice in the end. So if this was helpful to you, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next one.